The following program may contain coarse language, violence, nudity, mature subject matter, or scenes which may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to this segment of the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, Xzone Radio TV. And we're coming to you tonight around the world on Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, and Channel 34 on Simul TV. Before we get to my guest this hour, very interesting gentleman, I'm going to be talking about UFOs. I have to tell you about the 5450 that is happening in just days from now. 50, that's 50, 4, that's FOR. Free, FREE, 54 free, 50 TV channels, 90 video games, thousands of video on demands, absolutely free. And we're going to have all the information for you at our website at xzoneradiotv.com. Fascinating. It's being done with our good friends at Simul TV. Everyone is excited. Wow, 50 of their premium channels. 90 video games in 5 languages, and thousands of video on demands. Hey, beats Netflix, I think. I'm biased. Exonation, our guest this hour is Jeff KRAUSE. And Jeff, welcome back, my friend. Good seeing you.
Hi, Rob. Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, Jeff, you and I were talking shortly before we went on air about this was a very busy week for ufology.
Well, it really was. There was the Senate hearings on UAPs, which, it was almost like a flashback to the Condon hearings in the 60s. That I can go into detail on that later. Sure. That occurred, and that was interesting. But simultaneously, on the same day, I might add, our friend Rom James, who, of course, runs MUFON TV and does a lot of fine work for everyone.
That is true.
His movie came out, Accidental Truth, which was like a polar opposite from what we were hearing during the Senate hearings. So I found that fascinating. But what really stuck with me out of the week, there's a phrase that I think is going to be endeared by everyone for a very long time to come. It occurred during the SpaceX launch.
Ooh.
New terminology for everyone, and I love it. Rapid unplanned disassembly.
Rapid unplanned disassembly. In plain English, it blew up.
Boom. But I love the way they said that. This is what we call rapid unplanned disassembly.
Or a screw up. Come on, your turn now. Your turn. It's your turn, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. It's your turn.
Yeah. No, I know that phrase right there. It's just going to live on its own for a very long time. Yeah. I don't want it.
Oh, heavens. So what did you take away from the Senate hearings? Besides another Condon committee, is anything further ahead, or are we just
ahead? No, see, it could be. We don't know because we didn't hear the truth, for one thing. They ignored all the evidence, 80 years of evidence. He just flat out ignored as if it didn't exist, and brought forth some handpicked cases, just like Edward Condon did. Found one that he found, this is unexplained, and, he let that one hang. And then another one that he touts is unexplained and goes, that was actually an airplane. And you can see it, and then goes on to elaborate how he thinks all, and I repeat, he did say all of the unexplained cases could be explained if he just had enough data.
How much more data does he need?
Hey, I could solve a lot of crises in the whole universe if I just had enough data, Rob. It was the same old BS we heard. And they even had to say that there was over 600 cases, some 650 cases that they just couldn't explain, even though they went through the best scientific minds in their team. And the same dog and pony show that we had in the 60s. And those poor Congress people think that they were getting the gospel from someone who knew what the hell was going on, and they just got sent to the screens. I mean, only watch it in 20-minute increments. I literally had to pause it and go blow off steam and yell. And go back to everything. Okay, it was that freaking bad.
So it was equal to a Penn and Teller act in Las Vegas.
No, they're good. I like them. I enjoy them. Okay. I'm sorry, Dr. Kirkpatrick. I have no respect for you whatsoever. Have a good day, sir. But
tell me,
he just wasted everybody's time up there. And if he's the one running the show, they're in some serious trouble.
Serious denial as well.
Well,
now watch your blood pressure, Jeff. Watch
so many times. You know what it reminds me of, Rob? It reminds me of that famous story, The Emperor's New Clothes.
Oh my God, yeah.
All the Emperor's people told him that he looked just absolutely fabulous while he marched around naked in front of all the peasants. This is exactly what we're getting.
Watch your blood pressure, Jeff.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
My bedtime's at 6:30, Rob. It's now 9:16.
Oh my Lord.
I'm kidding. I don't know if you noticed, but I did sign in earlier at 6:15, thinking that's what time it was.
Yeah.
9:15 Eastern. You darn Canadians anyway.
Hey, this Eastern time stuff was your idea down there.
I know.
Yeah, we'll follow you wherever you go.
It was a moment of genius on my part. And, I thought back and I remember at the time going, I'm going to regret clicking that at that time, but I'll deal with it.
No regrets, my friend. No regrets.
No biggie. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah. So what is the current state of ufology? Especially after the Chinese balloon fiasco.
Okay. The current state of ufology, as far as it actually pertains to me personally, the other ufologists that I work with at MUFON and our team of investigators is really nice. We have a good working atmosphere. We have a great team, some very professional people on our team right now that are field investigators for MUFON in Southern California.
Right.
So I think as far as that goes, MUFON itself as a whole is really had an incredible year. We've been contacted by a lot of, entities wanting our expertise and thanking us for the information that we have already. We've been getting a lot of credit. In fact, I got to say the best part of that hearing in the Senate last week was hearing MUFON get thanked and credit real quick.
Well, that's well deserved, yeah.
Fast, but hey, there it was, recognition. So I thought that was something right there. And obviously the atmosphere has changed dramatically from when we were younger. In the 60s or 70s, we wouldn't be having this discussion, not only because there isn't internet then, but because to talk about it was just really, very, very rare when it was accepted. Very few shows dealt with it in a respectable manner. And even now, I can remember the last show I was on. I did an interview for someone a few months ago, and it was a great interview. When it played, though, there was X-Files music in the background.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I just, I understand that, it's the X-Files music. Come on, man. But still, that aspect of throwing that in there with the serious subject still, I don't know if they had to do that for production value. Maybe they did, but I tend to take the subject very seriously.
Right.
When I'm on the serious side of it and the scientific investigation and promoting, the factual aspect of what's going on, not the fantasy stories that a lot of people promote online and YouTube and things like that. I've found that the real stuff is weirder than the made up stuff anyway. And I think it's far more entertaining to have the real stories and the facts than the made up stuff, especially when some of them are just so darn fascinating.
Why are the UFOs here, in your opinion?
Okay. Take a sampling of the freeway near you, Rob.
Okay.
At rush hour.
Yep.
What are those people doing on that section of freeway?
Communicating, going back and forth from the office to home
They
to
all
the office.
all have the same agenda?
No.
Okay. And they're not all coming from the same building, are they?
No.
Yeah. I think that applies to here too. I don't think we have just the same people coming.
I
don't think every UFO that you see came from far away. I think the mothership that brought the little UFO here came from far away at some point. Perhaps there's base or bases, implications, and from what we have heard, there are a few bases. Logically, I would think they would be undersea because, hey, most of the planet is water, and if you want to hide something, there's your haystack to stick the needle in right there.
Exactly, yeah.
And if you can handle atmosphere and space, you can handle underwater, I'm sure, just as easy. And to back up my point, many reports of UFOs entering water at speed and not even displacing the water, making a splash or anything, and keeping up speed underwater without any, friction from the water or the laws that normal craft in the water obey.
Yeah.
So, there's that technological aspect of it. And many reports of it, I can't just say 1 or 10 or 100. No, there's thousands of reports of that same instance. So perhaps there are undersea bases. Perhaps they've been here for a very, very long time. We have lots of records from civilizations stating that they interacted with people from the sky who taught them agriculture, farming, different skills to better themselves. Did they just make that up? I doubt it. I think they probably had a good reason for repeating these stories. So, and you can't say where they came from. I wouldn't say any of them came from one place. We might possibly have a group of people studying us. Okay, we don't know.
Yeah.
This is speculation. We have enough evidence to speculate about things like that and not sound like we're totally off our rocker. It's pretty much a given now that we're not alone in the universe. That is understandable. Of course, someone would have been burned at the stake a couple hundred years ago for even stating that, or that the Earth was not the center of the whole darn universe. We know better now. We know the universe is, we've barely scratched a dent in understanding it or knowing how vast it is, who our neighbors might be. We don't even know who our neighbors might be in our same solar system, let alone in the Milky Way galaxy. Our galaxy might be full of solar systems that have life.
Who knows at this point?
Yeah, it's a very good guess that I would mathematically, were I betting on it in Vegas, I would bet high on that one, let me tell you.
All right, stand by, Jeff. You and I have to take our first break. X Zone Nation, Jeff KRAUSE is our special guest this hour. He's the state section director for MUFON TriCounty. And we'll be back on the other side as we continue sharing the world of the view of ufology from the eyes of Jeff KRAUSE right here on the X Zone. Don't go away.
Question: what is the name of the unique blend of coffee you get that has been formulated by a neurologist, a neurobiologist, and a pharmaceutical chemist? Answer: you get Beautiful Mind coffee, a unique coffee blend that tastes great and has herbal ingredients that your brain will love, and it is not just coffee, it's brainalicious. Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, the scientific team that created Beautiful Mind Coffee, decided to collaborate on a coffee focusing on brain health. As for those herbal ingredients found in Beautiful Mind Coffee, Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, utilizing their combined extensive scientific research background, worked with many natural and herbal products until the exact formulation that is found in Beautiful Mind Coffee was created. With a unique scientific formula not found in any other coffee being sold or served, Beautiful Mind Coffee is the only coffee blend that contains 3 herbal ingredients found to aid in boosting your daily mental clarity and focus. Every cup of Beautiful Mind Coffee contains scientifically formulated amounts of maca root powder, green tea extract, and American ginseng, all supporting good brain health. Taking care of your brain's health now can help delay or prevent the onset of cognitive dysfunction, including dementia, Alzheimer's, and more general memory loss as you get older, just by enjoying the delicious flavor of our roasted coffee and herbal ingredients found exclusively in Beautiful Mind Coffee. Did you know that cognitive dysfunction also refers to deficits in attention, verbal and nonverbal learning, short-term and working memory, visual and auditory processing, problem solving, processing speed, and motor functioning? For more on Beautiful Mind Coffee, the 3 scientists who formulated Beautiful Mind Coffee, and more details on the 3 unique herbal ingredients in Beautiful Mind Coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca. Beautiful Mind Coffee is now available online at amazon.ca and amazon.com. To order Beautiful Mind Coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca today.
Welcome back, everyone. Jeff KRAUSE is our guest. He is the state section director for MUFON. That's the Mutual UFO Network in Tri-County. And thanks very much for joining us, Jeff. Always great talking to you. What has been the most recent UFO case that has, in your opinion, been significant?
That's a very good question, Rob. I know that Earl Grey Anderson, had a really good case last year that was featured on a couple shows, involved a triangle, and I believe a family that had some personal encounters that bothered them to a degree. And I think that was probably one of the better cases that MUFON had during the pandemic time. Interestingly enough, the last maybe 5 months or so, the reports have really slowed down here in Southern California.
Any idea why?
Yeah, I attribute that completely to the fact that we haven't been able to see the sky as much.
Really?
We had an unusually active rain season here. And this area pretty much of Southern California got an atmospheric river over it from maybe mid-December on until just a couple weeks ago. So the number of reports did drop off dramatically through the winter season for us. They've just started picking up again now that the weather is getting better and people have been outside. And of course, the launches from Vandenberg are always a big thing for people to report on. I myself saw the launch of the Minuteman missile like 3 mornings ago. I was out walking my dog at 5:15 in the morning or so, And apparently it launched from Vandenberg at 5:11. So when I all of a sudden look up with my dog, and where I walk is Profumo Canyon, it's pitch black. We're in a very rural area. So I could see the stars and everything very well. And all of a sudden I saw what looked like a isosceles triangle-shaped object that was bright red. And of course, red is an unusual sign. I see a lot of launches, and usually the rocket trail looks orangish or whitish. And it's also usually I see it in a different area of the sky than where this was. Now, this is the trick at night, and this is where I think a lot of people are fooled by things they see. What caught my eye and looked like a shaped object that was glowing red was an outgassing. The second stage had already separated, and what I was seeing was that stage outgassing and still burning. And then I saw something else kind of behind it, like blinking reddish a couple times, which were, of course, outgassing and thrust from the other thing.
Right.
And then I saw an actual rocket trail leaving off going the other way. To the untrained eye, it would look like something came into orbit, dropped off something, and then sped off out of orbit. And I was really fascinated by what I saw. I was unaware. I knew there was going to be the test launch of the Minuteman missile, but I thought it was going to be at like 12:01, and this was at 5:15 in the morning. So I was kind of surprised by that. And I also was kind of thrown off by the direction. But I checked with my compass after that, and sure enough, that was southwest, and it was right on bearing for the Marshall Islands. So what I saw, correspond. I did, I followed through like I always do. I called the command desk at Vandenberg to make sure, and the gal there said, yes, we just launched. She didn't want to be too forthcoming with, information on an ICBM test, but they did verify that, one had just launched a few minutes before, and that's probably what I saw.
Well, what's your take on going back to the moon? Will this interest the visitors? Do you think that we might get some really credible sightings?
I can't wait to see the first fly around of the moon again when they tape everything in nice high resolution. It's either going to back up the things a lot of people have said, or it's going to expose a lot of things that have been said as not being true.
Right.
And I won't comment either way. However, I will think it'll be fascinating to see that in good detail. Progress, I believe, should have been made on this decades ago. But, for some reason or another, we lost interest in going to space, and we had to pay, attention to the people at home for a while. And the space program suffered greatly because of that.
Right, they did.
But we're moving forward now. And, that's all you can say is, hey, things are going to get better now. We're actually making positive steps. And don't look at the explosion of the SpaceX rocket as a failure. Data was learned from that. And, I can remember many explosions of the Mercury program.
Oh, my God, yes.
Rockets actually made it up into the sky. And thank God we didn't have astronauts in those puppies. And I even, unfortunately, remember the explosion of the Apollo rocket when we lost Gus Grissom and Chafee and the others. That was a horrible day right there. But our space program moved forward. We were able to develop rockets that safely carried us up into a higher orbit and then to the moon. However, this new rocket is even stronger than that one. So I have faith in it. But what I think is even more impressive, and I would have more faith in, are the atomic rockets that we have under development right now. We've actually had them since the early 60s. We've had atomic rocket engines. Stanton Friedman used to test them, for God's sakes. They're there. The technology has been there. We just haven't applied it. We haven't had the willpower to stick it on a tube and set someone on top of it and point it out towards Mars. Now we're at that point where we have people crazy enough to let us stick an atomic reactor under them and, shoot them up.
Yeah.
And that's a quicker way to go. You want less space radiation anyway, because that stuff will kill you. 2 years of space radiation, who knows what damage it could do to a person.
Why do you think that the space industry continued its quest towards Mars and neglected the moon? And then all of a sudden, the moon's back in the picture, and Mars is taking a little bit of a backseat.
Because they've realized that we need a stepping stone to get to Mars. And the only logical one is the one that's already built and hanging out right there. That's the moon. And there are resources on the moon that we can actually use to help us get to Mars. And making a space station on the moon is not that darn hard. We could have had the technology to do it a long time ago. We just haven't. If we actually put our minds to it, I believe we could have a viable presence on the moon very quickly. They say 2035. I say before then.
I understand that you also study petroglyphs. And I was wondering if you could share your expertise with us.
My expertise with petroglyphs goes back to a cave here in the local area where I live. A set of caves, and they were inhabited by the local Chumash Indians back for thousands of years. When I first moved up here in this area in 1986, access to this area was real easy. You could drive out to the wilderness area there through different farm roads, and there was a campground right near the area where these caves are. It had running water even, and big burnout fireplace with the fire pits. You could have fires and stuff. And Cub Scouts used to go there for their campouts. So it was a well-known campground and a decent area. However, people ruined it by shooting up their guns and riding their motocross vehicles all over farmers' lands. However, these caves were fascinating. They were in a V-shaped valley that was shaded heavily by oak trees. It was a shale and I want to say lava type rock. I know there was like tar and what the Chumash used to call pismu. That's where Pismo Beach got the name from the stuff seeping out of the rocks. They called the pismu, which is basically a tar secretion from heavy underground oil deposits and stuff. So that area, I think, is pretty fascinating itself. But inside these caves, they left behind some drawings and pictographs, which detail, first of all, they have the spiral, which is typical in a lot of different pictographs throughout different regions in different countries, and is said to represent portals. They had a couple of big-headed beings. Now I'm going to trace the shape of the heads. I remember this on the cave wall. Okay, this would be like the shape of a head, kind of big and down, kind of like an upside-down guitar pick.
Right.
Like a guitar pick shape.
Right.
Okay, and then big eyes in it. They had like stick finger bodies, kind of like the way you draw a 3-year-old would draw it. And then some of the basic, I want to say kachina type drawing, but it wasn't exactly a kachina, but it looked, similar to a kachina type drawing with it. And perhaps I remember maybe there was like some animal figures in there as well. So it was a record of something. And, I totally was thrilled by these pictographs when I saw them and thought I'd always be able to get back there to see them. And sadly enough, the road was closed off, and it's been 30 some odd years since I've been able to get out there. However, I found that now, and I spoke to rangers lately, Earl Grey and I actually, with a film crew, tried to get out to him going from the other side on a forest road, which was, we found out, blocked off and no access to. We'd have had to walk 22 miles or something like that from where it was blocked off to get to the caves. And, I'm not really up to a 22-mile walk right right off.
I hear you.
There's bears there and things. 30 miles is just no cell coverage there. It's
hot.
Yeah, it's fun place.
Yeah.
But then I could go around the other way behind
Mm-hmm.
Lake Lopez and the Wasna area and head out that way. And I could park at the furthest point of the road there. And it's only a 16-mile walk from there.
Only 16.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I can do. That's 16 each way. I think I'd do that.
Can I take bets on that?
Well, it's flat dirt. It's a road.
Yeah.
It's just a dirt road. There's not anything heavy to do or whatever. You start early in the morning, walk about 2-3 miles an hour.
Okay.
Maybe take a mountain bike or something. That might even improve the odds.
Oh, that would speed it up. Sure would.
Yeah. And I don't want to go out there and camp there. I really don't. Not if I have to take a mountain bike out there and don't have a way to beat feet. Because like I said, there are bears.
Really?
And other things, coyotes, bobcats, just all kinds of stuff out there. It's a wild area. But I want to get back out there in the near future and get good documentation of these caves and photographs and everything. Because then I can take it back to the Chumash elders and show it to them and maybe get their take on the actual meaning of these and what their take is on the story of them there.
That's a great idea. Stand by. We've got to take our break at the bottom of the hour. X Zone Nation, our guest this hour is Jeff KRAUSE. He's the state section director for MUFON TriCounty. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. We'll be back after this short break. Don't go away. Welcome back, everyone. Jeff KRAUSE is our guest. Before we go any further, I shared the news with everyone last night that Deb Randall, the wife of Kevin Randall, passed away yesterday. And we're so sorry to hear that. And our thoughts and our love and our prayers are with Kevin and his family at this time. Jeff KRAUSE is my guest. And Jeff, what is your take on Skinwalker Ranch?
Well, first of all, I just got the news about Kevin's wife. That's terrible, and my condolences go out to Kevin. I'm really sorry to hear about that, and my heart goes with you, my friend. Skinwalker Ranch, boy, that you can get a chill in your spine if you say that just right. I enjoy the 4th season so far. They're getting some more good data. And what I really enjoy about what they're doing out there is they're using scientific equipment and getting measurements, and they're finding, an anomaly. I'm sorry,
Right up.
stay with a new set of lips. They're finding an anomaly that they can actually measure and register that's above the ranch and interacting with them. And I find that fascinating. But not only that, their interactions have caused UAPs to appear on camera on numerous occasions. So is that a portal over there? Maybe. Is there more going on there than meets the eye? Definitely. And, if Robert Bigelow spent all the time there and got the willy-nillys and couldn't figure it out and left and won't give anyone any of the information on what he learned there, yeah, he gleaned some kind of, understanding and technology. I mean, come on, the guy's got his own space station. Other people that have been there, the things that they've learned and the stories that they've told, I believe that there's more going on there than just a basic UAP presence. I think there's perhaps multi things going on in that area for some reason. It tends to be a hotspot for many different types of phenomena. So as to why that is, I don't know. Could it be a magnetic effect on the human brain and the human psyche? I don't think so, because now we also have scientific measurement of different things, different wavelengths, like that 1.6 gigahertz energy signal that keeps spiking up. The thing that showed up under the helicopter when they were flying around getting different readings, and it seemed like there was something just 30 feet under the helicopter. Different readings like that, and physical traces or physical evidence, like showing on film the helicopter being pushed in a direction different than the wind would have pushed it, as if something reached out and went doink. So things like that are going on that we don't understand. Hopefully, they'll figure out and get data that gives them a better understanding of it. And I think it could be key to perhaps understanding a lot of different things that are going on. So, there's a future of information there, that's for sure.
Yeah. I've also heard stories, and I'm sure you have, about underground bases. Now, when it comes to an underground base, are they extraterrestrial bases? Are they our military bases? In your opinion, what are these bases?
Okay, we've had deep underground military bases for a long time. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the technology to, bore out huge sections of Earth and make caverns.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote an article in UFO Truth magazine a few years ago about a lady who was one of two that worked for Howard Hughes. And she worked in an underground base in the desert, along with the military and supposedly ETs. And she told a story of how there was like a little city under there. They had tables even with parasols and brightly colored chairs and everything, dining areas for people, kind of like what you'd see at a mall today. And this woman, her story I find very credible, because it came from my friend Earl Grey Anderson, who's now the state director of MUFON Southern California, the position I held for 8 years. And I broke this story on his mother after interviewing him back in, 2014, something like that, 2015. But she verified to him that, there was an underground base where she worked, elevator that took her down a long, 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 long way down and to that city underground. And her words to her son were that the ETs were realer than you might think.
Do other countries around the world, like Russia and I know the United Kingdom does, but countries that are not so well known for ufology, for example, Pakistan, India, and of course Russia, do these all share the same number of UFO reports that the United States does?
I would be surprised if they didn't.
Yeah.
Now, I happen to know personally about India that they have a lot. In fact, I was in the first issue of UFO India magazine.
Wow! Yay!
Yay. Yeah. No. Hey, you don't have to drop me. My dog didn't like my enthusiasm there. That's funny. My worst critic is my dog. Now, India, of course, had a lot of reports of UFOs. And, they have the history of Vermanas, for gosh sakes.
That's right. I forgot.
Their whole culture is based on interactions with sky beings and things like that. So, yeah, I believe they have a heavy UFO lore there, and they take it much more serious than the rest of the world has. Russia, I've heard some fantastic tales from there, and some of them horrible, some of them horrorful,
really,
and some of them technologically interesting. George Knapp supposedly has the remains of something that crashed in Novogorsk, Russia, that he had at the UFO museum there in Las Vegas for a while. So, yeah, different countries, I'm sure, have different things. We may never hear what China has, or places like Tehran, or the countries that really aren't friendly to anyone. We might know any of the things they have ever. But then again, who knows? Maybe something will happen and they'll need our help, or something will happen and things will be exposed, and we'll find out from one of these older cultures a key piece of information of missing history. Because I'm sure that there is some kind of record of some of these civilizations out there. We can't be totally exempt of information just because the Library of Alexandria burned to the ground. I'm sure there's got to be other records elsewhere.
Must be. You and I have to take our final break, my friend. Please stand by. Jeff Krause is our guest, State Section Director, MUFON TriCounty. This is the X Zone. I'm Rob McConnell, www.xzoneradiotv.com. And for all the shows that we produce, air, that are available to you 7/24, 365 with our compliments, visit xzbn.net. We'll be back as we wrap up this hour. Don't go away.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Jeff Krause is our guest. He is the State Section Director, MUFON for Tri-County, and that's in California. First of all, Jeff, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us here tonight. Tell To you, are we any closer to disclosure than we were 10, 15 years ago?
Well, I think I think we're way past it. If anyone that doesn't think disclosure already happened has been asleep at the switch. It's been going on for a while now, ever since we started having ancient aliens contacting the desert, Alien Con, big productions like that. History Channel's main shows deal with UFOs now. Mm-hmm. If they're waiting for a formal announcement from someone, I think the hearings in the Senate last week are proof that that's not going to come anytime soon.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think the government is suppressing this information, if in fact the information is there?
Not all. The government's compartmentalized. Information is on a need-to-know basis. Our secrets are secure to only those who have a need to know. And apparently, the people in control of the biggest secret feel that nobody needs to know. And they've been controlling with an ironclad grip this secret for close to 80 years now.
Is it because it's a matter of national security?
Well, here's the closest accurate statement I can give you.
Okay.
We don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm. True.
I would have to say, Dr. Edgar Mitchell dropped a bombshell in Ron James' new film that he saw the proof himself that the Roswell event actually happened. There was the crash, wreckage was recovered, there were bodies, and there was a live alien.
But Mitchell wasn't there.
No, but he saw the proof of it. He saw the documentation and got briefed on it, apparently, during his career and his time at NASA and in the government. And he finally went on film before he died and stated it as a fact.
Well, I find it funny that these people always make these deathbed, statements.
Well, he didn't know he was dying. He wasn't even sick. This was
really
statements he made on film before he died.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not like he knew he was going and made a deathbed confession. That's not it at all.
There have been those that have done.
Oh,
that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. There have been plenty of people like that saying stuff on the way out. This is not an instance like that at all. And I advise, watch the film. Trust me, it's well worth it to get the movie and watch it. And just to see that part, I wish I could give you. I almost watched it again today just so I could give you the minute mark where he says this, because to see it coming from Dr. Edgar Mitchell's mouth, okay, I take the man at his word. He was a very honorable man, and his reputation speaks for itself, as does the reputation of other people in this film that verify different things as being factual.
I hate to do this, Jeff, but I just got the cue from my producer. It's time for us to move on. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeff. Look forward to the next time you meet us back here in the X Zone. Until then, stay safe, my friend.
Thank you, Rob.
Bye-bye, buddy. X Zone Nation, what a guy. Jeff KRAUSE. He is the MUFON section director for TriCounty. God, that guy has so much great energy. I love talking to him. I'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Question: what is the name of the unique blend of coffee you get that has been formulated by a neurologist, a neurobiologist, and a pharmaceutical chemist? Answer: you get Beautiful Mind Coffee, a unique coffee blend that tastes great and has herbal ingredients that your brain will love, and it is not just coffee, it's brainalicious. Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, the scientific team that created Beautiful Mind Coffee, decided to collaborate on a coffee focusing on brain health. As for those herbal ingredients found in Beautiful Mind Coffee, Dr. Rathbone, Dr. Jang, and Dr. Winslow, utilizing their combined extensive scientific research background, worked with many natural and herbal products until the exact formulation that is found in Beautiful Mind Coffee was created. With a unique scientific formula not found in any other coffee being sold or served, Beautiful Mind Coffee is the only coffee blend that contains 3 herbal ingredients found to aid in boosting your daily mental clarity and focus. Every cup of Beautiful Mind coffee contains scientifically formulated amounts of maca root powder, green tea extract, and American ginseng, all supporting good brain health. Taking care of your brain's health now can help delay or prevent the onset of cognitive dysfunction, including dementia, Alzheimer's, and more general memory loss as you get older, just by enjoying the delicious flavor of our roasted coffee and herbal ingredients found exclusively in Beautiful Mind Coffee. Did you know that cognitive dysfunction also refers to deficits in attention, verbal and non-verbal learning, short-term and working memory, visual and auditory processing, problem-solving, processing speed, and motor functioning? For more on Beautiful Mind Coffee, the 3 scientists who formulated Beautiful Mind Coffee, and more details on the 3 unique herbal ingredients in Beautiful Mind Coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca. Beautiful Mind Coffee is now available online at amazon.ca and amazon.com. To order Beautiful Mind Coffee, visit www.beautifulmindcoffee.ca today.